Hey everyone, we are live for the Three Martini Lunch. Three Martini Lunch is a national virtual networking event. It's being broadcast simultaneously in about 250 Facebook groups. So all of you panelists, watch what you say. You are going to be scrutinized by some of the most hateful people in the world. They can ruin your career or they can make your career. They can build you up just as much as they can tear you down in the world of Facebook. But we are excited to be in front of all the positive people that are on Facebook as well, that believe in everything that we do on this panel. It's been quite the week. We're excited because this is episode number 22 of Three Martini Lunch. That means we have done 42 hours, no more than that, 42 hours of 44 hours of Three Martini Lunch. I've been told by Sarah, who counts much better than I do. That's a lot of great information and material to share with one another. It's been an exciting week over here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where we are hosting this. My name is Stephen David Elliot. I am the creator and founder of Rockstar Connect. Last year, Rockstar Connect did over 1,000 events in the United States and Canada. So far in the last 5 months, we have done 5 events, physical events. So it's a big difference from us, 1,000 to 5. We're hoping that the country opens up. I mean, it looks like everything is getting a lot better out there. So we can get back to doing what we do best, because we are networkers, and that's what we do, and that's how we help other people, and that's our one of the many contributions that entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, and small business owners do for the community. Now, for those of you who have not seen this before, the Three Martini Lunch is based on the Success is Contagious model. From Rockstar Connect. And in the Success is Contagious model, we share our successes with one another in order to promulgate or propagate, or whatever the correct word is, success for other people as well as ourselves. Because, of course, success is the most contagious thing, even more so than COVID. It's much more contagious than COVID. Some of us kill ourselves trying to achieve it, certainly, so it can be fatal. But what you get when you're successful far exceeds any of the difficulty in achieving that success. So we're going to go this week. We have a great question for the second half. I'll share it closer to 3 o'clock. That's what we usually do. We have a topic. I know a lot of the people in the audience that are listening to this go, gosh, these people, they don't know what the question is, and they're going to be answered. These people, they're not afraid of it. They love it. If I made it too easy for them, they wouldn't like it. Okay? So that's why we do it that way. It's not because what some people said, that Stephen just comes up with a topic around 3 o'clock. No, I do plan out the topic ahead of time. Not days in advance, but at least hours in advance. And I do agonize over whether it's going to be an interesting question from everyone. We also have a special guest who's going to be joining us at the 3 o'clock hour. And tell me if I'm saying the name wrong, Jacqueline. Jalen Latta. He is
It is Jalen Latta.
I was close. It's just the word, the emphasis, which syllable you put the emphasis on, But he is a recipient recently of the Derek Wittenberg Foundation of a grant that allowed him to complete his education, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about how he feels about that. And maybe he'll talk to us about that great success too. I'm going to start off this week with Jeff Messer. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself, but more, what are your successes?
Well, Stephen, making sure everybody can hear me good. Yeah? Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, great. Success for the week. Getting our new teaser out on the the thing you brought up last time I was on the panel. We're working on a big docu-series featuring a local Raleigh business that's been struggling amidst the COVID shutdowns and how they're having to pivot their business and do something completely different. Well, a lot different than what they had planned on doing this year. So getting that teaser out is a big deal because the docu-series is a massive undertaking.
Right. Well, I mean, it's very important because this shutdown, it seems like we're curing the symptoms, but we're killing the patient as far as it goes with businesses. I ask everyone to go online and research what's going on in New York. They say New York City will never return to the way it was. I mean, I doubt that. I mean, New York, the people there are pretty resilient. If you're going to, it's going to be people in New York and they're going to be able to back, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. Businesses are pulling out. They're not paying their rent. I was reading about one building in Midtown Manhattan that normally has 8,000 people inside of that building on a workday, and they have 500 now. 500 people there. The author of the journalist that was writing the article contacted one of his friends who works in the building and said, "Oh, I'm so glad to see that you're still there." He said, "Well, actually, I'm here packing my boxes to move to Arizona. I don't think I'll ever be in an office again, and certainly not one in Midtown New York." So what Jeff has done is he's created this incredible video about this business here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It happens to be a bar, and in our state, the governor has shut down all bars. Liquor stores are open, restaurants with bars are open, but bars are not open.
These are open.
Infants and not responsible and can't make decisions for themselves. So they closed down this bar, and this bar was actually much more than a bar. It was an entertainment venue. And at this entertainment venue, they have dueling pianos. It's a very mature crowd that goes there. It's not inexpensive to get in. It's for adults. Great business. And this guy, he started this up, completely bootstrapped the company within a few months, generating over $1 million. Am I right? Over $1 million a month in sales, and now completely shut down. It's a shame that it's happening to businesses. Hopefully this will be resolved quickly. I don't think it necessarily will be. But Jeff, where can people see this great video that you put together?
Well, the docu-series is not complete yet. This was really just a teaser of some of the content we've captured up to this point. But it will be released soon. We'll be doing a multi-series format. So episode 1, we'll be talking about kind of how they built the business up and how they became a success. And then the second episode, we'll be talking about what you just described, which is unfortunately the fall. And then hopefully the third episode in the series will be the return and how they build the business back from what essentially right now is the ruins of a business. So we're still looking at which format or which channel, if you will, to release that out on, but certainly be making those announcements in the next couple of weeks as we work through the owners of the bar and how they want to market it. But in terms of inReach, just real quick, we do video production, as you can imagine, not so much on documentaries, but we do a lot of what we're doing right here. We're talking to folks remotely and virtually, and we help businesses do video marketing as a service. So our main mission is to lower the cost per unit of video production down to something that's very affordable. And we still do that with the same professional lighting and cameras and microphones that you would see in the more expensive version of video production.
Now, how are you able to do everything you just said without moving your lips?
My video might be frozen.
I think your video is frozen today. Possibly. Could be.
Zoom fights with my production system. I apologize for that.
I thought it was a little bit of ventriloquism going on there. I'm excited about this docuseries because this has incredible music. And if any of that makes it into the docuseries, I mean, it's worth the price of admission right there. And I wish the best to all small businesses out there, restaurants, bars, gym. I hope people, wish those people well and, don't wish them bad. Don't wish them harm. Don't put things in the way just because of your bias or opinion that would prevent them from reopening. So we actually do have a bar owner today on the program, and we're going to get his perspective on this. Now, he's illegally operating his bar. So I imagine that, you know, many of you that are watching today are probably going to jump on the phone and call the authorities. But Domenic, can you tell us a little bit about your successes for the week and about your fantastic bar?
Yeah, I'd be glad to, Stephen. Thanks for inviting me. If you don't know me already, my name is Domenic Battistella. I'm a financial services professional here in the Raleigh-Durham area, working with New York Life, and I help businesses with risk management, continuity solutions, employee benefits, et cetera, et cetera. And I would have to say there's a couple of successes this week. One is getting all three of my children back to work in school on virtual academy. That was a success that we didn't kill all three of them. The other success is that at some point in this week, and I take it on very high authority from this individual, that I was declared one of the world's greatest lovers. And now I've taken that title for myself here. So congratulations to me on being that incredibly amazing. By the way, if you missed last week's 3 Martini lunch, that was a throwback joke to Stephen's introduction of me. For real, though, I've had a lot of great conversations this week. One of my favorite ones was I got a chance to talk to Miss Rhonda Sher for about 30 minutes yesterday. That was a great time. And
that's not enough time.
That is absolutely not enough time, but we took that time to schedule more time, as it were.
You would have to. Yes.
Now, as far as running a bar and speakeasy operation, as it were, as we know, it's 2020 in North Carolina, and just like in the 20s, bars are illegal again. So my fiance Heather and I built and started our own speakeasy. Now, we're not running a legitimate business here. We're not taking money for services or anything like that. But
wink,
we do
wink,
have.
nod, nod.
What's that?
Wink, wink, nod, nod. Say no more.
We do host some very interesting events there, some friends, some family, and have started recently a little networking series there that is very, very hush hush and underground. But it's a great little venue, and people really enjoy coming over, and it's very tastefully done, and it's a sports bar. And it's dedicated to my very, very sad and unfortunate Carolina Hurricanes today, which, if you didn't watch the game last night, they blew a 2-goal lead in the third period and lost. Sadness. But those things happen. But, yeah, that's that's about it for today. If anybody's interested in seeing some pictures of the Speakeasy, you can go visit the Speakeasy's page, and I will put that information in the chat. And if you would like an invitation, you're going to have to ask Clint Webb for the password.
Clint Webb has the password.
This
is interesting because, Domenic started this, getting this together about 4.5 months ago, working on this bar. It's going all the way across the country now. Real estate, it used to be you wanted like an extra room maybe for an office or a gym or something. Now people want a bar, a rec room, 2 offices, a room for kids to go to school, etc. So if you thought that McMansions from the mid-2000s were enormous at 4,200 square feet and more, just you wait to see the size of homes that will be built in the next 6 months for better or worse. I'm pretty happy with the square footage I have right now. And there are certainly people that are interested in tiny houses too, but try to have a tiny house with, 2 children going to school, 2 parents running their business, etc., and throw in Domenic's bar. And it's not going to happen.
No, sir.
Not at all. Ray Fuentes out in California. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
And you may notice I'm not in my office today. I do have an appointment around the corner, so I had to improvise and find a local park.
Well, that's fantastic. And the parks are open there?
Like a little community park, but yeah, the slides and things are closed. The only downside is, although we're not at 100 degrees yet, this whole week we're, 106 to 113 degrees. So that's
Wow.
exciting.
That's really hot. I mean, even during the HIV epidemic, in the beginning of the HIV epidemic, when we thought that you caught AIDS from mosquitoes. I mean, literally people, do you remember that, guys? People thought you could catch it, from someone sneezing or whatever. I don't think they closed playgrounds. I don't remember that. So, let's just do everything 100 times worse than it was during, something that really was a plague that destroyed the entire world. And so, Ray, what's your success? Besides being in the park, which right there is a great success, your beautiful white linen shirt and nice
thank you.
smile, all, perfect. What's your success this week?
So I have two successes that I'd like to share today. The first one is a business one. For those of you that have been watching over the past few weeks, you know that I'm the host of the Roseville networking event from Rockstar Connect. And when we had the shelter in place in March, I began something called Interview with a Rockstar, where I would sit down on Zoom and record and meet some of the folks that participated in our Rockstar event. Well, this last week I had 2 interviews. One of the individuals, Dr. Erica Taylor, is from Washington, D.C. So not only am I getting an opportunity to meet folks locally, but nationally. So that was very exciting. And I have a friend from high school that is editing my videos for me and creating an official looking introduction and putting credits on there and all that other stuff. So it looks like the show looks like a real show as opposed to just the PowerPoint it was.
It is a real show. I mean,
yes,
right?
sir.
We've all cut the cords.
We absolutely.
Really, the only thing that kept people from cutting the cords was the lack of sports channels to see live sports. So I think at this point, everyone has pretty much cut the cord. Everyone is now a broadcaster. I mean,
correct.
You're in a growth industry. Jennifer Williamson, definitely in a growth industry with animation. We are our own broadcaster. So that's definitely one of the positives from this.
Absolutely. I'm reminded of the movie Back to the Future when Marty McFly goes back to the 50s and he has his video camera and Doc Brown sees the video of the stuff that has happened and recognizes that Ronald Reagan was president. And yet you have to be an actor in order to be president, according to Dr. Brown. And I think that applies to all of us where we have to embrace not only watching webinars, but creating our own videos and webinars. So that's one of the things I'm appreciative about what happened.
I believe in the honesty and integrity of everyone on this panel, more so than I probably do, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and that stuff, because I don't see the national news reporting what's going on, in Sacramento or in, DC or anywhere else. I just have to take it on their word. I don't actually see any video or anything else.
Right.
So thank you for having that show and keeping the Rockstars activated near you. I'm a little cynical today. I guess I've been going through the 5 stages of grieving through this entire pandemic. And today is my pissed off day. Everything is sort of irritating me and aggravating me. So I'm going to request that by the end of the program in 2 hours that I'll be, all fluffy kittens and puppies. And you guys
puppies. You have a great puppy coming along, I hear.
Yes, we have a new puppy coming. His name is Ziggy. He's an English Bull Terrier. And this is sort of can I share my success story? It's really great.
Yes,
so
please.
We had to get out of the house because we were having work done. And in COVID, you can't be in your house when people are doing work in your house. You have to leave your house. Not requirement of the worker, but courtesy to him. Also, I have a tendency to talk. He would get absolutely no work done if he was in the house, if I was there, because he would be additional company for me. to talk to. So someone on Facebook, and this is the beauty of Facebook, someone whom I've never met, but I've been friends with now for 7 years on Facebook, never met them in person, never had a phone call with them. They send me pictures of puppies, of English Bull Terrier puppies, all different types of puppies, because they know I like dogs and I'm a dog lover. I think that's really sort of sweet, too, that she does that. And she said, there's someone nearby you that actually has a whole litter of them, of English Bull Terriers. And Sarah and I said, you know what, let's, I don't know if we really want the responsibility of another dog now, because English Bull Terriers are the most stubborn dogs in the world. But let's go take a look at the litter and the parents. They're going to give us that opportunity, so in the future we can get a dog. So now, mind you, this all came from this nice woman on Facebook, and I'll give a shout out to her. We went down, sat in these people's house, and just absolutely loved the puppies, but we're not getting puppies. And the gentleman said, I complimented his home, and he said, oh, well, I had it with a real estate agent last week, and the real estate agent actually took our puppies and put them in the garage when it was 97 degrees without our permission to take photos. So we terminated the contract. And he said, I understand you're a real estate agent. Would you like the listing? Would you like the listing? And I said, sure, that's free puppy. That's getting paid to take a puppy right there. I'm definitely getting a puppy right there.
Exactly.
And then in addition to that, it just had me reflect. So as a real estate agent, and with many aspects of my life, I am very much a perfectionist. I want my listings to look beautiful, the houses to look beautiful, so my clients can get the most money for their property. And it also reflects well on Sarah and myself. I do my real estate with Sarah too, just like Rockstar Connect. And these people, they had 11 dogs and 4 kids. And these kids have been locked down for 5 months there. So you can imagine what the condition of the home was. I mean, they were doing their best, but there was some ripped rugs and stuff like that. In pre-COVID, I would take a listing like that, but I would make sure that it was all ready to go. But I thought about it, and I said, I'm not going to antagonize these people anymore. They're going through enough. It's hard enough to sell your house. I'll just have my photographer and videographer do the best job they possibly can. So we were there, on 2 Sundays ago, went and took photos on that Thursday. We got there about an hour early, and we were helping them pick up stuff. And it was really funny because the kids were taking out the stuff as fast as we could put it away before the photographer got there. As soon as we put something away, they took it back out. Got the photos and videos done, went live on Saturday, didn't have any showings. We had our first showing on Sunday. First showing, we got an offer and went under contract. And the buyers, and this neighborhood, normally the people that buy homes there are usually about my parents' age. These buyers happen to be the same age of the sellers with young children. And they said, you know what? We didn't even care about the carpeting and the missing doors and the missing cabinet doors inside of the house, because we plan on doing a lot more damage than that before our children get to the age where they're moving out of the house. So it was perfect. So rather than aiming always for, I guess there's a moral to the story. In this type of environment, aiming for perfection is actually could be a failure on a very high level. You're not going to help your clients. So like if your clients need a website up and running, don't wait a month because you're waiting for it to be perfect. They need that website right now in order to make business. And you know what? They may make some revenue right away that they can put back to you to make revenue. Does anyone want to comment on that before I move on to the next person? Does anyone have any thoughts on that? If no, I'm going to move over to Clint Webb. Hello, Mr. Webb.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Ray, man, I would love to, if I'm ever out in that area, because I do have some friends in Northern California, man, I'd love to be on your Rockstar video. And as I said earlier in the chat, man, I'll make sure I wear my red Converse. So, so we can make sure we match up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So, hey, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Clint Webb. I work for Coeco Office Systems. So we're just a local company that provides managed print services, copiers, printers, scanners, large and small production machines, anything you need. But most of you guys know that I'm a connector, so that's what I like to do. That is my passion, and one day maybe I'll get paid for it. So my success for the week is personal and a big one for me. Let's see, I started weighing myself, I guess, when I was 14 years old, when I was a freshman in high school. And was 207 and was a chubby kid most of my life, or my whole life. And yesterday, was it yesterday or Sunday? Sunday, stepped on the scale and saw 1 in front of that number. So that was big for me.
Well, excellent. Congratulations.
And that's my success for the week.
That's a wonderful success. You were freezing up a little bit, so that's why we were sort of like trying to, but we got the.
Yeah, it says my internet connection is unstable.
Were they talking about the internet or you?
Probably both.
Probably both. Well, that's great news. That's a tremendous success.
Yeah.
I think a great success in COVID is just not putting on weight. That's a tremendous success in and of itself.
Well, Stephen, that's where working on your mental health also helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it allows you to be able to do other things and not get caught up in just the negative stuff that's happening, and just to try to be positive and look for gratitude every day.
Yeah, and not be unstable.
Yep.
So we have a new panelist with us today. Sarah spoke with her, I think, 2 weeks ago, said she's very nice. Jennifer Williamson, if you could please share with us a little bit about yourself, but most importantly, what has been your greatest success in the last week? And that can be your personal success, success for a client, just success in general.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer. I'm the owner of the company Mint Prints LLC. For those of you who haven't met me already, we focus on advertising and creative services, but our specialty is helping businesses increase their engagements through animation and graphics. Like what you see behind me, that's a 3D set built in the Unreal Engine. We have a publication called Carolina Bulletin. And that's on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. And we also recently created an animated show as of last year called Caribou Bulletin News. And it's the only one in the area that promotes local businesses in this area. And what better way to show you or tell you about it than to show you, actually. So I have this switched over here. Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys can.
It's okay. We know how it is with technology. Do you want to work on it? And as soon as we flip on, we'll come right back to you. I think that's a yes. This is what technology is very difficult. That's why we need to reach out to other people to help us, frequently with technology. So while we're waiting for Jennifer, great news on the Rockstar Connect front. Those of you who are hosts, you're familiar with Kim Patchen. She was a guest last week. Domenic, Rhonda, Ray, you know her very well. She's going to start calling all the hosts next week so we can start booking all the events for November. We sort of have a feeling that something will happen monumental in November, which will enable us all to go back to work in November and have these great events. So look forward to Kim's call. Hi, Jennifer. I think she's showing us her show now. She turned into a penguin.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. So this is an example of one of the news anchors on our show, Carolina Bulletin News. And it lip syncs, it captures my lip movements or, any camera movements, etc. That's usually how we operate there, saying, well, hi, everyone. We record all of our shows right here using the Adobe Creative Suite here, Character Animator. We have a variety of different characters, about 10 characters, each with about 100 different layers each, about 10 different behaviors on them for each one. And they go over the news for the local events in this area. You know, things from like Brookgreen Gardens, Bruce Monroe event that we recently covered, local businesses in the area too that we talk about, feature them in different segments. So each one has their own different story that we tell in a completely unique format, like you would like a late night show, but with animated characters that we designed and created ourselves. We created the puppets, we created animations, the 3D sets behind us too. So, you know, that's pretty much everything that we have around everywhere in this area too. So that's just a little taste about the capability of what we can do on this show. And hopefully you guys, if you want to check us out, I'm going to include the link to our Facebook page in chat here that you can check out our episodes. That's, you know, Carolina Bulletin 2.0. And it has all the, you know, recent episodes, you know, covering like COVID-19, things you can do in the area. And that's, you know, that's generally what we do. So I'll switch back over to regular.
No, don't switch.
Oh.
Stay penguin. If you're going to switch to anything, switch to another animal. And if you could do a funny voice from now on, we would appreciate it.
Okay.
Who votes for the penguin? I put my hands up. I want penguin. Okay, the panelists have spoken. We're going to stick with penguin. If you want to change to another animal, we would.
Yeah, if you have a dog.
And you're doing.
The dog might cheer Steven up a little bit.
That's really cool stuff. You and Jeff should definitely get together and do some networking with one another. Don't you think, Jeff? He said thumbs up. You can see him too. I'm going to go over to Rhonda Sher. Albeit she, you know, deserves more than just a few minutes, and 30 minutes is definitely not enough. Please tell us about, you know, a little bit about yourself and a lot about what your successes have been. I know you're doing a lot of interesting things out there in California.
I'm in Southern California, actually, where it's about 105 today. So it's definitely
nice and cool compared to Sacramento.
That's probably true. Yes. We just hope we don't have one of those rolling blackouts.
Oh, no.
So I am a LinkedIn strategist. And what I do is I help people get out of what I like to call the LinkedIn Witness Protection Program, because most people never get found. And I have a simple system where I teach you how to do three things: present, prospect, and profit in a very non-salesy way, so that you can book 2 to 10 appointments a week with your ideal clients and referral partners. And my win for the week is actually pretty cool. Number one, I got all my photos done for my new website. So I'm really excited about that. I spent 3 hours with a branding photographer, and it was pretty fun and pretty awesome. And I've created a totally free LinkedIn masterclass. And if you're interested, all you need to do is just send me an email to unleashingllinkedin@gmail.com, and it's in the chat there. And one of the things that I'm going to teach, and for me it's a huge success, because number one, I was on 2 webinars last week, and they both told me I couldn't sell. So I was like, okay. And so one of the questions that came up from the group was, well, how do we find out more? And so I just kind of pulled this out of the air, and I said, well, I'm going to do a free masterclass. Send me an email called Unleashing LinkedIn. And unbeknownst to me, over 1/3 of the people in that room said, you know, sign me up, right? So I set the date, September 17th. I used the platform that I put a free link to called Groove Funnels. And the coolest part was I was looking to put a success story of one of my clients that I could promote, because I'm always looking to promote my clients. And I got a testimonial that day from a commercial real estate broker that told me he generated 29% more income from the coaching work that we did that's going to put him into 7 figures. And I didn't ask for that. So I was able to put that on the landing page, and I'm really excited about that. And again, I have to get back on my little soapbox, Stephen, because if people have not written a recommendation or an endorsement for you on LinkedIn. You are phenomenal. You are amazing. You're going to be on my radio show this Thursday. So I'm going to be interviewing you about Rockstar and all the cool stuff that you've done. So we're going to get past this stage 5 grief stuff. That's going to be gone by then. And if you haven't recommended Stephen and Sarah, because they both do such an amazing job, you know what? It's going to give you visibility, but it really, really says a lot because everybody looks at third party. And I don't know anybody that has a platform like this or that puts their heart, their soul, and their puppies into it. So, you know, just write the recommendation and just keep, you know, sharing your successes.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. That's wonderful of you. I really appreciate it. I really like that Unleashed LinkedIn. Have you spoken to your attorney about copywriting that yet?
I've trademarked it, but I'm going to talk to my attorney about all of that. Yeah. And I actually have a book by that title as well. So, yeah.
Well, people aren't aware. You've written, I'm not certain, is it 4 or 5 books?
I've written 5 books, actually. The first one I wrote, believe it or not, my foreword was by Bob Berg, who's the Go-Giver.
That's before he was Go-Giver.
He wrote the foreword on my book, The 2-Minute Networker, because my dad and his dad went to school together. And that's how we connected and became friends. So can I tell you my favorite 4 words that I tell all my clients to learn?
Absolutely.
I need your help. And then just ask, because you know what? When you start asking for help, oh my gosh, it's crazy what people will do for you. And we always forget to ask. So,
right. And if you're a networker and you do for other people, I mean, you've earned the right to do the ask. So people frequently forget to make an ask. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rhonda.
No, that's the only thing that I would say is, so, you know, if you don't have enough recommendations on LinkedIn, like Domenic is such a giver. You're amazing, Domenic. He's not even looking, and I'm like, you know, it's like just remember that, you know what, keep paying it forward, and then always just say, hey, you know what, I could really use your help. And all you're really asking somebody to do is go into their connections to probably make an introduction for you, or to give you a referral if they said something nice, right? So that's my challenge for the week, for everybody to use those 4 words, I need your help, and to pay it forward by doing random acts of kindness.
And also another thing that I learned very early on, because I've done a lot of different projects that I've been able to accomplish, that people say, how do you get that done? Because you should never ask people for too much help. You ask them to do specific things with specific goals in mind that can be accomplished by them very easily, so that they aren't frustrated and they have a success.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing that you did last week, which you repeated today, which I thought was so amazing, is just sharing the story about the puppy. You know, everybody can relate to stories about kids and dogs, right? Share those stories because it lights people up, it inspires them, and share them on LinkedIn. Stephen, have you put that story on LinkedIn?
I did put it in our brokerage's internal page, and people were really appreciative of the story, and they took something from it. They took a message from it about that. But yeah, I will post that up on LinkedIn.
Well, no, I'll post it for you because we're going to redo it, and I'm going to actually post it for you. And what I'm going to do is tag everybody in this amazing group so they can like it and reshare it. How's that?
That's brilliant. You know, she really understands LinkedIn at a level that nobody else does. So we're very privileged to have Rhonda. And Rhonda, wait, you know, how did we first meet? How did we first meet? You reached out to...
Oh, you know what it was? I heard about Rockstar Connect through Greg McNeil. Is that his name?
Greg McDaniel.
Greg McDaniel. And he was on a podcast, the same podcast I was on, and they always say, okay, what are your 3 best, you know, recommendations? And he said Rockstar Connect. And I'm like, what the heck is Rockstar Connect? And I went to the website and I called you because I was so impressed with the way that he spoke about it.
And then fast friends ever since. That's
ever since, right? There you go. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love this guy. And I have permission from your wife and my husband to say that.
Sarah's okay with it. I don't know about your husband, if he's okay.
My husband's good. After 40 years, trust me, the guy is good.
And they've been married twice.
Twice, yes. I married the same guy twice. We did 28 years, divorced for 6, and then remarried 4.5 years ago. So we call it 40 with 6 off for good behavior.
And who's bought the movie rights for that?
It's actually in a book. There's a chapter in a book about it, believe it or not.
I think you should definitely write the screenplay. I don't know if you've met, if you've had an opportunity, Rhonda, to speak with my friend Adam Bricker in South Florida. But this was an example of us playing a game that's known as Jewish geography. So we got on a sales call with one another. About 10 people told me that Adam Bricker would be calling me. So I just got it right on the phone. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's just jump to it. Who are you? What's it about? And we talked, ended up, going to, rival high schools, being in rival high school fraternities, going to the same university, knowing all the same people within a year or two of each other in age. And, we've become really friendly since. And, Adam is in the connecting business, in the networking business on the technical side. And, as we know, you can be a great networker, but if you don't have the tools to follow through, you have less success. You'll have success, but it's always good to have that great tool. And Adam has brought that tool to market. Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your successes this week. Now, I know what one of his successes are because he messaged me the sunset from the beach in Florida this morning. Was that this morning or yesterday? I think it was this morning.
That would have been this morning because I just returned to South Florida. So that was my first day back at the beach after a few days.
Yeah, so he gets the opportunity to be an entrepreneur that works very hard, but also a beach bum, which for any Jewish kid growing up in South Florida, that is the dream, and he is living the dream. Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it. And I haven't had a chance to connect with Rhonda yet one-on-one, but I look forward to it. And the easiest way to connect with me is through my digital branding card, which it looks like this on your phone. So because all your prospects have a phone, I literally put your brand in their hand. And you can put my brand in your hand by texting Adam. It's right on my little nameplate here, Adam, ATOM, to 64600. And you will experience my technology where it sends you a link. And with one click, you get a direct connection to all of my details. And I see everybody in the chat box, you put your LinkedIn and you put your website and you put your Facebook and you put your email. Just put one address and people have everything. And that way when you change it or you add to it, it's just one click and everybody has your updated information. What Stephen said was one of the most troubling things for me at the very beginning of networking. I had no problem meeting people. I have no problem making friends and creating trust almost immediately. But the biggest problem is how do you follow up on all those people? I went to a Rockstar event and I met 24 people. How long does it take to follow up with that? Well, if they all have your digital branding card, that is a 2-minute follow-up that sends everybody a text. And then you can keep it, whether you keep it on a drip campaign, whether you send out a newsletter, whatever way you want to keep in touch with them, it just takes minutes. And if you're like me and you know what you want to say to a lot of people in advance, you can program in a whole month or two in advance. You can spend an hour doing it and do all your updates and promotions in just a few minutes. And Stephen, I got to tell you, I got 3 big wins for the week. I didn't know which one to say. I don't know which one's biggest, so I just want to say them all if that's okay.
Yeah, go right ahead.
They'll be real quick. So number one, I made a huge deal with a texting company. So now a world-class texting company is now at my fingertips. And instead of developing my own platform and product, I'm able to use theirs as a partnership level. So that's number one. Awesome. Number two, yeah, thank you. Number two is I went outside of traditional business this week and we signed up our first musician. And I have somebody who's heading up a division of what we're doing for actors, musicians, and comedians. So that's a really interesting take because the branding card right on your phone can put videos. What do speakers use? Speaker reels, auditions, can put all the videos, texting, and testimonials right on their phone in an instant.
You know who you should look for? That makes me think. I look on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn, for Chris Cohen. He does social media for entertainers, rock stars, etc. He would love to have that product.
outstanding. I will look up Chris this afternoon. And then my third biggest win is, as I'm building out this company, I have somebody who's doing production work for me. And finally, I was just able to give him the intake form, and he came up with a beautiful card for somebody without having to hold hands to go through each step. He understood my form. Now, he's an artist, and he'll just do everything you say. But because I'm so standard on what works, he was able to implement my formula while I was out of town. I gave him an assignment on Friday. And when I came back this morning, it was done, all wrapped up with a nice little bow on it. So those are my 3 wins for the weekend. I'm looking forward for even more this week.
That's fantastic. If anyone would like to connect with Adam, he put his card there so you can find it. Are there any, well, I always have to ask for our Rockstar Connect hosts and attendees, any freebies available that you know about?
Freebies with regards to?
Yeah, is there a webinar on this? Is there, a basic card? What's available to them?
So yes, if you'd like to have a basic card, you can definitely get that for free. But once you go through the webinar of how to use the card, which is also free, you won't get the free card because you're going to want to have full access with everything. So yes, I have two specific webinars I teach. How to use digital branding to make your brand come alive. And the other one is how to use mobile marketing to increase sales and improve profits.
Well, thank you very much. That's some terrific news. Let's go over to, hey, Andrew, welcome. I'm going to come back to you in a little bit, to Diego.
It's great to be on the show again, Stephen. Thank you. And as always, great to see familiar faces and a lot of new faces. There's been some great wins. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of feeling like Adam. I've had a great list of wins this week in terms of business. So I'm going to kind of go off the cuff a little bit. And I would say I'm pretty excited. Clint knows that I happen to be a member of a very specialized healthcare related group. And a big win for me tomorrow is that I actually have Clint participating on the executive committee discussion on how it is we're going to try to get people back together in a meeting room to generate healthcare related business. And, we're going to be very deliberate. We're going to be very careful. But if you don't know Clint, you got to know Clint because he really does know a lot of great people. When he says he's a connector, he's aiming low. I mean, he really very well connected. I'm excited that he's going to join us. And for me, that's a huge win to be able to get him involved in that level of conversation.
Excellent. Diego, so, we spoke a little bit at the beginning about New York and commercial real estate in New York. I mean, this is affecting residential real estate as well. There's 13,000 open apartments in New York City right now, which is unheard of. You usually line up for apartments. Does New York come back from this, or are we going to see a drastic change in commercial real estate in New York City?
Well, I don't know if you all saw a recent report from Bloomberg, and I'm not trying to suggest one news source be better than the other. Small business across the country is disappearing in very, very large numbers. And it could be for any number of reasons. I'm not going to try to address anything in the political spectrum. We all will have our opinions. Small business in New York is going to be what suffers. Commercial real estate will bounce back in some way, shape, or form. Amazon will buy all the buildings and turn them into fulfillment centers or something like that. But in all truth, commercial real estate will find its way. My concern really is small business America and how small business.
We might not be able to get a corned beef sandwich in New York anymore.
Unless it comes on a drone from Amazon.
Unless it comes on a drone from Amazon. Well, I was hoping we get a little more upbeat news on it, but like we said, New Yorkers are really strong. It's going to be interesting because New Yorkers are moving all over the country now. I know a large amount of them are moving down near Adam in South Florida. Are you seeing a lot of neighbors coming in from New York?
You're watching the buildings fill up more than ever during the summer.
Really? So do you think that's going to be permanent?
Yeah, it's not snowbirds moving down. It's people buying the condos from the snowbirds. More
So
permanent
South
residents.
Florida will eventually be New York City with palm trees, if
Yeah.
it isn't already. Got
Hey,
it.
Stephen, do you mind if I have one more thought on that?
No. Go right ahead, please.
And I really appreciate you giving me the
It's great
opportunity.
to have an expert, talk on it.
So if there's one thing I've learned in the 10, 12 years that I've been doing in real estate is that the smart investors know how to take advantage of the market when it's down. And they're the ones who 5 years after the market goes down, figure out how to have leveraged that position to get into a better wealth position, right? So I joke that Amazon's going to buy, but the fact of the matter is if you're familiar with what opportunity zones are, that was a law that was passed 2017 in the tax bill at that time. Amazon is buying land in opportunity zones, and a lot of people are following suit. And so it's changing the nature of where people are living and setting up business. Will New York bounce back from that? I'm absolutely certain New York will bounce back from it. Will it look different? I'm absolutely certain of that as well. I am certain that what we're experiencing now is going to change the way we do business. I did a seminar back in January and wish I had been wrong about coronavirus, but I was talking about it back in January. And the end result is that I was saying how business is going to become so much more localized when it comes to how we spend money, right? And we're already beginning to see some of that. There are some exceptions to that, but when it comes to the trades, we're going to see the trades become a lot more important in a very localized type of nature. So you may see large construction companies become much more localized. How many of you, just curious, how many of you are starting to see more cloud construction companies come into your markets? How many of you no idea what I'm talking about? So cloud construction is basically a construction company that sets up management shops in large markets and hires local tradespeople to do what would otherwise be done by large commercial contractors.
And that's the way it's been in residential, here for quite a while in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. So I see a lot more of that model.
We have a lot of opportunity zones here in North Carolina. So a lot of people have received in their small business loans. Are people using that money to buy commercial property?
I have not been, I would say it's probably been 3 or 4 years since I've been this busy when it comes to the number of investors that are involved in the market right now. That's why I have high hopes that we will bounce back. It's just going to look different.
Going to look different. Well, hopefully it's sooner than later. And to the people that are watching this, a lot of that is incumbent on you. Albeit you may not be able to do business exactly the way you did before, you can be doing business today in some form or fashion because you are smart people that can turn on a dime, and you have resources that other people will pay for your knowledge. So right now, the most valuable thing that you have is your knowledge, your experience, and expertise. So make yourself available to people that want to speak with you. You don't know what that conversation is going to lead to. And in my experience, a conversation always leads to opportunity. People ask me when I go to my networking events, do I go as a real estate agent? Do I go as the owner of Rockstar Connect? Do I go, whatever other businesses I own or operate? No, I go as a person who's interested in opportunity. When there is a crisis, unfortunately, there is a lot of opportunity, and you need to make yourself available to it. Crawling into a ball and laying in bed and sleeping all day will not solve your problem, nor will it solve the problems of the people in your community and our country. Us entrepreneurs and business people, we are the drivers of the economy. And if we give up, the country is lost. But I am certain, and I believe in all of you and your contributions to your community and what you're doing and how you're offering of yourself with free webinars and services and exchanging services for that matter. Understanding that cash might be tight. I'm proud of you all, and if that means anything. And encourage you to continue doing that. Now, someone who Sarah, did you want to bring up something?
There's a question for Rhonda before we get to.
Okay, what is the question? Why don't you say that real loud?
Okay. So the question for Rhonda, I don't know if you can hear me. Let me come closer.
She can hear you.
Okay, the question is, how do you use LinkedIn to get sponsorship for events? Is there a certain way to go about doing that?
Actually, that's such a great question. And remember what I said before, just ask. You actually, all you have to do is use Sales Navigator to specifically identify who you want to sponsor your event, and make sure that when you ask them, you already know every objection they're going to have. You already know every question they're going to ask, and you make sure you let them know, excuse me, what's in it for them, because clearly they are on LinkedIn and they want to do this, but they need to know what's in it for them, and just ask.
Yeah, I mean, it's also very important to create your sponsorship deck. And there are a lot of examples online showing you how to create those. Some of them are so good you can almost completely copy them and utilize them for your event if their event is similar to yours.
That is a great point. And by the way, if you need a reference to do a PowerPoint deck, I have a gal right in North Carolina who is phenomenal at doing PowerPoint decks, and she's extremely reasonable and very fast on turnaround. So if you need that resource, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to make the introduction.
Okay, everyone, if you need that introduction, and I know everyone here does events of one form or another, it's important parts of your business, reach out to Rhonda and she'll make that connection for you. Jackie. So you're the last one until we get to the next hour, and we're going to jump in with Andrew. Andrew, we're going to have a really good question for the second hour, so be very nervous. It's not going to be a tough one. So Jackie is sort of like a special panelist today because she is bringing a special guest onto the program. She runs the Derek Wittenberg Foundation with her husband, and obviously his name is Derek. Can you tell us about what the foundation does and what some of your recent successes have been?
Yes, our foundation actually does something quite unique. We support students who are struggling financially to complete their last 2 semesters or their last 2 years of college. And we support them by awarding them a grant in an effort to try and lower their debt upon completion of an undergraduate degree. It is for only undergraduates, non-athletes, and we've been doing this since 2015. And to date, we've helped well over 100 students graduate with minimal to no debt. And if you know, in the state of North Carolina, the average student is carrying about $30,000 worth of debt upon graduation, and that is just ridiculous. And during these uncertain times, we need more help than ever now, because there are more students who are affected by this because their parents, which is usually their main source of funding for their education, have either lost their jobs permanently or just been laid off temporarily without pay. And it's hit at a time when colleges and universities are now reopening. And with deadlines, the college and the universities can't operate without funding. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, they rely solely on the tuition from the students who attend these schools. And so our goal is to help students who are struggling, that is their hardship. They're doing everything correctly academically. Community service is through the roof, and I know that we are helping the right young people because they're already paying it forward. And in the second hour, you're going to get to hear from a very special young man who is our most recent scholar. As a matter of fact, he was our first scholar for 2020, one of a few scholarships that we'll be awarding this year. And he's a really bright young man. But more importantly, this kid has worked so hard, and that there's no reason why finances should hinder him from achieving his goals and completing an undergraduate degree so that he can continue on further his education and give back to society. And so I look forward to him joining us in the second hour.
Yeah, I'm getting on there right now, so I'll talk with you.
Go ahead, Jackie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I look forward to this young man joining us in the second hour. And also, you asked about my successes this week. Well, I have to tell you, I have one personal success, and then the other is related to the foundation. I'll give you the one related to the foundation first. As you can see, I'm wearing green today, and green happens to be one of the colors for UNC Wilmington. And the foundation was blessed by a generous donor for us to be able to fund the first ever Steve Matthews scholarships at UNC Wilmington. And we will be awarding those scholarships to two very special students there. And if, in case you don't know who Steve Matthews is, Steve Matthews, if you've heard of Matthews Motors, they're in Clayton, North Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina. Steve was a very generous supporter of the foundation. Steve, education meant everything to him. And a year ago, we lost Steve in very untimely death, but our foundation wanted to honor his memory, honor two students with scholarships at UNC Wilmington, which was near and dear to Steve's heart. And so we've been able to do that thanks to a generous donor. And my personal success this week has been really having a partner to help me through, to just help motivate me to be the best that I can do on the fitness tip. And that person we've heard from during this call, Clint Webb, has been an amazing supporter to me as I've been waking up and every morning and not making excuses to go out and get my 1 or 2 miles in some cases 3 miles. And I'm doing it on a knee where I'm recovering from surgery. So I want to thank Clint Webb for being that support system. And I'm just so grateful for Rockstar Connect because Clint and I would have never met.
That's the beauty of, Rockstar Connect. You meet people from all over the United States and all over the world, and we all become great friends, attendees and hosts alike. Education, it's real tough right now in upper education. Here in North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill, the kids went into school on one day, and 3 days later they sent them all packing home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tremendous expense for any family. You lined up apartments, and you're paying rent and buying furniture and clothing for school, and you're paying tuition. So that's very expensive for even the wealthiest of families. So
and you have a lot of students who are forced to go it on their own without the support of their parents. So you have students who are trying to juggle 1 and 2 jobs and perform academically, and it's just a tough situation. There are a lot of outside influences that hinder these students from being the best that they can be.
Where is their housing going to be? If that's, if they're doing it on their own, they don't have a family necessarily to go back to.
No, and they don't have family support. They have a family, but they don't always have family support. And that's not to say that the families don't love them or they're disconnected from the family. Oftentimes, the family is struggling financially. Mm-hmm. And so, and now
advantage that the student is going to school. So the challenge, I'm going to put a little challenge to you. Maybe Jackie, next week you can bring us some information on how we can help some of those students that don't have financial support from their family, although they have other support from them.
I've actually posted in the chat. It's really long. I tried to put the document in, but this goes back to that technology stuff that we all get stumped on. But I did post some information there on ways. We have a funding campaign going on, but we've given people options and ideas as to how you can help us. And in the process of you helping us, we also have things that we can offer to help you. And so, because we think that it's a balancing act, and we're about really community service and involving the community in everything that we do, right down to our skilled volunteers who keep this foundation going daily. So it's important that we give you options, and whatever it is, or whatever way you choose to support the foundation, we're there to support you along the way. So this is not something that you would, we don't expect you to just pour yourself into our foundation or into our mission without us being there to help you along the way.
Great. So we do have Jalen, Latta. Jalen.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi,
so
Jalen.
you are a little younger than the rest of our panelists, but I understand you're very accomplished. You received an award, so that's your great success this week. You're going to participate on the panel this week, just like the great business owners, coaches, and entrepreneurs that are on this program. So first of all, could you tell us what your award was that you won?
So I earned the Derek Wittenberg Foundation scholarship to help pay for my semester this current semester of $5,000.
That's terrific. And I guess you go to NC State?
Correct. Yep. Representing NC State.
Excellent. And how will that $5,000 help you? Because I know it's a grant that you don't have to pay back.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was in a little position where I was struggling trying to find finances to help pay for the semester. And this wasn't new. This has been a thing for me since I've been in school. So I actually was able to do some research and found out about this great foundation, the Derek Wittenberg Foundation. And I just applied, and I tried to be as honest as I could with the application process, and God willing, I was able to get the scholarship. So it was truly a blessing, but without it, I don't know if I would have had to take out some loans and potentially probably wouldn't have even gone back this semester. So it was definitely a blessing for sure.
It's definitely a great blessing. And, you know, like other students, you have great plans for the future.
Mm-hmm.
What is your career going to be? What do you think it's going to be?
So after I get my undergraduate degree, I want to go get my master's. And while I do that, I want to be a graduate assistant for a D1 men's or women's basketball program. And pretty much that's basically like being a student manager, but just at the graduate level. And that at most schools, like if you go to like a high D1 school, they'll actually pay for that if you are a graduate manager. So I would love to do that. And then after that, I would try to transition right into being a coach at the D1 level of basketball, women's or men's. So that's the goal I got for myself.
When you achieve that goal, how are you are you planning on doing some payback to help other people that have been in the same situation you're in?
Oh, of course. That's not even a question. I mean, like I said, all the way starting my freshman year, I've been having to, rely on, scholarships and outside resources to help me, get through and get my goal, my first goal of being a college graduate student for one. And I definitely don't forget where I came from, and I don't forget the people that have helped me along the way, because I know for a fact that there are many, many kids dealing with the same thing as me. And I want to be able to help them as best as I can, because I know it's hard for parents, especially, as well as the kids.
That's fantastic. Now, Derek Wittenberg, the namesake of the foundation, Jacqueline's husband and partner in the foundation, he's a big celebrity here. He's very well known, great speaker. How exciting was it for you to meet him?
It was very, very exciting. And I actually met him before I got the scholarship at practice, because I'm a manager for the women's basketball team at State, and he's always around, always showing his face. And it was such a nice person to meet. I mean, full of energy, real personable guy. So it was real cool how when I first met him, I didn't even know about, his foundation. and then to come find out that, you know, he was actually able to help me with my schooling. I mean, you can't even imagine it being a thing. So it was definitely great.
Like living a dream.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we know what your success has been for the week. We've covered that. So that's we start off with what is your success. I'm going to let you ask, you know, the question for the week, and everyone here is going to answer the same question. You know, people that network and that are altruistic and like to help other people, that when they talk about their business, they say, well, it's not all about the money. Well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about?
What is it about? I think.
Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do, one, because I love it. It's a passion of mine. And I see, especially in basketball and in sports in general, I see what it does for a person. It could change the whole trajectory of someone's life. I mean, if you're a student athlete, I mean, now you have the opportunity to get an education. You got a chance to network with people, and you become so much more independent when you go to college and do all these different activities with the sports team. Like, you're able to change a kid's life, and I would love to be able to do that at the next level and be able to, you know, take a kid from the inner city and now lead them into, you know, a life of success and be able to have a family and provide and just change the whole dynamic of their family, you know? So it's something that it's way more than just the money. Like, it's about changing someone's life for me. Because I know firsthand that's how it was.
You know, the kids that are growing up around them. That's a great thing. You did a great job. It's your first time on the panel, and that's a really difficult topic. And I'm going to put it to everyone here. And thank you, Jalen and Jackie. Thank you for bringing him to us today to have this conversation.
I appreciate you having me.
It's our pleasure. If you want to add anything as the conversation's going along, you know, just, you know, write in the chat and Sarah will get you back in. You know.
Well, one thing I'd like to say, Stephen, before we move on, is Jalen didn't even talk about this, but Jalen has served in leadership roles at NC State. And I noticed that when I looked at Jalen's application, and that was one of the things that really I honed in on, because for us, it's not just about your GPA, it's also about your character. And Jalen was a clear example when I read his application and I read his candidate letter, a clear example of a person that we know that we can be proud of and that they're going to add value to society. And they're even going to pay this forward in many different ways. And so I just want to say that without those leadership qualities, we're in trouble moving forward. And so it is our honor to support students. And there's so many others that we've supported, like Jalen, who all have that leadership trait. And so I just wanted to mention that he's a great leader, and I love the fact that he's been so involved in the student body at NC State.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And, you know, it's sort of like, if you think about it, you know, the Derek Wittenberg Foundation has built like a big team of people. You guys have been doing it for 5 years now. And then all the people that you've given grants to, and then the people that they've impacted. And, you know, this is a foundation. It's, when you're gone, God forbid, you know, it's still going to continue. So imagine what we're going to be talking about, not us, but the people that are, you know, after us 50 years from now.
But that's why it's so important that the students that we help not only have the smarts, but they have leadership qualities to do something with that education that's going to grow this thing. And I'd like to see this become a chain reaction. I'd like to think that the Derek Wittenberg Foundation is laying a foundation for others to follow suit, because as you know, education continues to rise in cost, there's going to be a need for a greater need for more organizations like us that are giving grants instead of putting these students in a position to where they're making it difficult for themselves to start their own own careers and their own lives by having all of this debt. So the leadership quality is important because it is going to take our next generation a long ways. And I pay attention to that. I pay attention to it.
This is a very old tradition. And there was a time when many people could not go to school, and a community or a town or a group of people would find that scholar in the community that was going to be most successful. And whether that person was related to them or anything else, they would all bring their money together to give that person an education because they knew that person was going to come back. Mm-hmm. In some way.
So it truly is. I look at it as being an investment into a great future.
It's an old tradition that I hope we continue and enhance. Thank you, Jackie. We're going to go over to Tommy Episcopo because I know he really appreciates this program because he's against student debt. He does not a big fan of it. Not only that, X out. And he's also, an athlete as well. I mean, you only see Tommy sitting down, but if you saw him standing up, you'd say, "What sport do you play?" or something along those lines. But Tommy, you're coming in at the second half of the show. I would like to hear what your success is for the week, and then we'll jump into the question of the week.
Well, my success for the week is just kind of being able to run this business, not actually be in the office. I mean, it's happening. People are getting used to this way of talking, and I'm truly blessed that I'm able to work like this. Look, would I rather be face-to-face with somebody? Sure. But I did have something happen this week that I would like to share with you guys. I was on the phone with somebody who made me realize that it's not about the money. And that young lady's name, she's on the panel today, is Katie Blomquist. And if you have not spoke with her, you are really missing out. She's not only a great person, she's hilarious. If you follow her Facebook, she's hilarious. She'll make you laugh when you don't feel like laughing. And I'm trying to start a nonprofit for the Doberman Pinscher dog breed that I love so much. She's going to help me. Well, I happen to call her that I have some health things going on. I'm getting some tests going on, and I haven't forgot about her. She made me feel as if, no problem, Tommy. Just call me when you're ready. I'm here. So if you have not spoken with her, you're really missing out.
I agree. I mean, fantastic Rockstar Connect host, great intelligence, and a motivator for so many of us.
And she's hysterical, Stephen. She really is. She's really funny.
Her Facebook is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, and we're always happy to have her on the program. And whenever I look at the list, I smile when she's on the list because I know it's going to really she's going to contribute something of great importance.
Well, thanks, guys. I feel like I'm getting all emotional over here.
We'll come to you next. It's not your turn. But we'll come to you next.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, if it's not about the money, if it's not all about the money, because it is a little bit about the money. If it's not all about the money, what is it about?
Okay. So for someone like me, I'm going to earn a commission or get paid for whatever it is I do. So that's really a moot point. Doesn't mean anything. It's about seeing that family's face when they come back to see me and they've made that last credit card payment. They've paid it off. When they've paid off that last student loan. If you've never seen somebody in that light where that weight has just been lifted off them, that's my juice. That's what keeps me going. When I look at somebody, it happened last week. They paid off their last car and they were ecstatic. They were just floored by the whole thing. They couldn't believe that in this day and age, with everything that's going on in the world today, that they're actually debt-free. That's a pretty powerful statement.
I mean, it's a big deal. I've known about the family bank for 5 years. I know the people that work with your family bank. They could be working in any top salespeople and advisors in the country. They can be working anywhere, really, but they choose to do this because the end result is so much better than just someone making a lot of money.
Now, one of our advisors is also on the call, Robert Hayek.
Mhm.
He works with us too. And he's doing a phenomenal job. And he gets it. If you just want to go out and earn a whole bunch of money, what I do is not for you. You know, go somewhere else. But if you truly want to get into somebody's heart and help them on a level that nobody can, this is the job for you. And don't chase the dollars, chase the dream.
Absolutely. And if anybody is listening, you know, in the audience, and they are, you know, a life insurance agent, or they are a financial advisor, and they'd like to learn more about what your family bank does, you know, I give a wholehearted endorsement that you should reach out either to their website or to Tommy or Rob Hayek directly, and they'll explain to you exactly what they do and how they do it, because it's not rocket science.
It's really not.
You can understand.
It's not magic, it's just math.
It's math. And math is hard for some of us, but I went down to Jupiter and I spent, you know, not a whole day with Tommy, but we had dinner and we interviewed him because he's doing incredible things with his Rockstar Connect programs in Florida. And I'm not a math person, but he was able to just sort of put it up in the air so I could see the numbers like a brilliant mind sort of thing floating there, and I understood it. So definitely, you know, reach out to, you know, Rob Hayek or Tommy Episcopo. Katie Blomquist, we should go to you because you know, everyone is talking about you and give you an opportunity to speak. Well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about? And I know what your success is because I saw on Facebook that a memory got posted up about how when you moved to South Carolina and you didn't know how you were going to survive and whether you were going to stay there. And now you've been in South Carolina for 5 years, and you're
not 9.
9 years.
Yeah.
And everyone knows you there and supports what you do. So, well, if it's not about the money, what is it about?
I mean, literally for me, it's about giving back and making the community better. I mean, that's why I have my nonprofit. I want to help people, but obviously I have to make some sort of money. And so that's why, you know, it's 2 birds, 1 stone. I mean, that's why I have my hands in like a million different things. So I'm not taking too much out of any pot, and that the money can remain, you know, in the community. I obviously get paid basic teacher salary from my nonprofit. And if you don't know, South Carolina pays teachers less than anywhere else in the country. So it's minimal. And it's because I just have to survive. Obviously, then I have my LLC where I do the online course. Again, like I want to do this course to help people so they can make a difference in the community too. It's also a way for me to survive. I don't charge too much for my course. I mean, lots of people charge way, way more for that kind of stuff. So another way for me to help survive, but also help the community and help other people. It's just something I've always had ingrained in me growing up, giving back. My mom did full-time charity work. She was a stay-at-home mom, and it's just been ingrained in me as a kid that's what you do.
Yeah, it's like you don't live in a mansion. You have a roommate. Your wealth
I live in a very small apartment.
It's what?
Yes, I live in a 1,200 square foot apartment with a roommate, and you know, I don't live a luxurious life. I would like to one day, but not now. And it's not, I mean, I could have stayed in a corporate marketing job when I was in my 20s. I mean, I was making more at 25 than I am now at 37. And if it was all about money, I would have stayed. What?
Much more happy.
Oh my gosh, much.
So you made a post a couple weeks ago about, you know, keeping cabinet doors open.
Yeah. I'm like a child, or like I look at my kitchen and right now 2 cabinets are open because I went in them and didn't shut them. Drawers, my roommate's like, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't know. I open them and then leave them all open.
So it embarrassed me a little bit, and I've been more conscious because I leave cabinet doors open like crazy, as do all of my kids. Sarah says she does not leave them open. I don't believe her. But I have been trying to close cabinets lately, and it's because of your post. So, you know, keep on inspiring all of us. Okay. So I'm going to go to Jennifer Williamson. Jennifer, you don't have to be a penguin anymore. You can not be a penguin if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you want to keep that switched over. Let me switch back
over to Jennifer so people can, because I just thought about it. People are going to think you're a penguin and not a person. And so, Jennifer, I'm going to ask you the question. Well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about?
Well, first of all, I think it's messed up. Hopefully we'll roll with this. Yeah, it's about making people feel amazed about what you can do. And my specialty is in the graphic and emotion area. And that's my passion in being able to impress people with it. So it's kind of a selfish reason, but also, it's my, where my talents, where I grew up was being an artist. I actually had the aspiration for working in the film and game industry, and actually worked at independent projects, small indie games and films, but that didn't pan out for me. So this is my way of, fulfilling my, in a sense, my destiny of being in the graphics area, but also using it for greater good, for promoting local businesses.
Do you mentor younger people?
Yes, actually, I have an internship program, and we work with any students from various colleges around the country. That actually mentioned one of my successes is working with one of my interns for over a year. She stopped the internship about a month ago, and then I brought her back on as a paid gig through one of my other business clients / partners. So now I can finally pay it back to her. They're having her do all the work for me for free. Now she can actually get paid for it.
That's fantastic. My daughter has a real interest in visual arts, animation, and design. And maybe when she's in college, I can have her give you a call, or maybe some advice before then.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you were able to be a panelist today. We really enjoyed the penguin, but now I'd like to see you. Your picture is a little distorted, so if you want to work on that so everyone can see your face, feel free. Otherwise, you can go back to being a penguin. It's up to you. Andrew, well, if it's not all about the money, this is the perfect person to answer the question about, because this is the least material person you're ever going to meet in your life. Well, if it's not about the money, what is it about? You like material things, but you're not materialistic.
Right. It's about being happy and doing whatever makes you feel good. And it works out really well when what makes you feel good is helping other people.
So have you put anything more into thinking about this mastermind you're going to be running?
Actually, I have, but I'm temporarily, my boat is out of commission, so I'm working on that. So since that was originally part of the draw. But yeah, I have sort of done that and wanted to reach out to that group of people that I was talking to and see how we could sort of do a statewide, not really course because that's almost too structured, but just like a weekly podcast, video, vlog sort of thing of how to help people regardless of our industry backgrounds. Sort of like a really small version of the monthly networking events.
So sort of like the Justice League.
Yeah, but with less commentary from the people. Just a real short, hey, this is what we're talking about today. Here's our thoughts on it. If you have any questions, reach out, kind of get off the call thing.
Well, if Rockstar Connect can facilitate in any way, just let us know, and maybe we'll come up with some ideas as well. Yeah. Where did Rob Hayek go? Oh, there he is. He's right there in the middle. Your face keeps on moving all over the screen on my screen.
Does it? I'm still in the same spot.
Yeah. So, yeah, you haven't moved out of your chair. You're still there. Well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about, Rob?
It's like, yeah, like Tommy said, seeing that look on someone's face when they actually know that there's a way to get out and get their head above water. That's more fulfilling than anything. I mean, it's overwhelming to me because I just like helping. I always wanted to. I was always looking for something that was different than what we were taught years and years ago in this industry. And when I saw this for the first time, I'm like, this is it. I can help somebody. I can walk them through the program. I'm there. They have no clue it's out there. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, how many people know what we do? I mean, not that many people, right, Tom? There's not many people out there doing what we do.
Well, usually if I'm talking about what you guys do and the people say I know what they do, I know they absolutely do not know what you do.
Exactly. They
I know that right away because
finance. Yeah, it's everything that we don't do.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth a conversation to know what those guys do because they do great stuff. Jack Brockman, welcome back to the 3 Martini lunch.
Thank you, sir.
Jack, well, if it's not about the money, what is it about? Like, for example, you're not on this show to make money. You have clients you need to deal with. Why do you do it? Why are you on this show? Why do you do all these extra things?
Well, you know, I don't know if I'm going to come up with anything that's that novel that people haven't already said. I mean, obviously, it's about helping others, feeling good about yourself, and that has been a big revolution to me probably over the last 3 months. But it's also about making people smile and, you know, just extending friendships. And to that end, you know, I heard on the conversation from a week or so ago, there was some conversation about a Casanova, you know, type thing for Dom. And so I just wanted to, you know, kind of reach out a little bit and let him know that, you know, he's not alone in that. So I did a little search on the internet, and let me see, I came up and I searched that, and this is what I found when I did that search.
Yeah, that's me.
So just a little payback for Dom from what I went from a week or so ago, but there is the man himself in his full glory. So I wanted to share that with the group. But honestly, Stephen, that was a little aside there, but honestly, it is about just making friends. You know, you and I are becoming better friends, and I got a chance to meet Jackie this week or at the end of last week, and just meeting more people, finding ways to help each other out, because it's a big world and there's lots of stuff going on. So it's about making people smile, making friends, and making sure that, you know, karma, it's good for everybody.
Yeah, and I just think that it's not like as if you were in a shell. I mean, you're a very outgoing person, but I would say over the last 5.5 months of interacting with you, you definitely feel more comfortable in the role of a panelist and helping other people. So, you know, congrats for that, 100%.
Well, and thank you for helping me break out of my shell. I don't know if I was ever in one. Clint's rolling his eyes. I don't know if I was ever one, but getting this exposure and getting this chance to talk to people and learn about other people and part of the process is very valuable. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for participating. I'm glad to know you. Norma, you just came in, so we're going to jump right over to Norma Hollis out in California, because frequently she has to drop out of the call to deal with the client. So this is the question this week. You're going to absolutely love it. You know, everybody always says to you when you talk to your clients, they go, well, it's not about the money. They always say that. Well, it's not about the money. One of the most cliched expressions ever. If it's not about the money, what is it about, Norma? Oh, you need to unmute yourself, Norma. Okay. If it's not all about the money, what is it about?
If it's not about the money, it's about the people and or the purpose. And that's what makes it first. You know, how can you, it's the whole conversation now on society, is it the economy or is it the people? The economy, people. Well, how do you have one without the other? You really can't. Some people get so much on the money that they forget the people, and some get so on the people, they forget the money. So you really need a balance. So if it's not about the money, it's about the people, the family, the purpose. Some people are very purpose driven. They want to make a difference in the world. That's their objective, and the money is less important. So it's so many objectives on the planet, but it's not about the money, it's about the people, the purpose, or the plan.
I'm going to go a little deeper on this with you, because I really respect you and what you have to say. If a client says to you, well, it's not all about the money, sometimes that may mean they need to concentrate on the money a little bit more, possibly. Maybe that's an important thing they need to concentrate on.
Either it's important to concentrate on, or something that doesn't matter because this money's not an issue for them. So it could be on either extreme, I would think.
Well, that's great. Thank you for joining us, Norma, out in California. Is it 105 degrees by you?
It feels like it right now, yes. It's pretty warm.
We're definitely an East Coast, West Coast show today. No one in the flyover states today. We're all East Coast, West Coast. Domenic, World's Greatest Lover. If it's not all about the
Yes.
money, is it about the love?
It. Well, oh, could we say it's about the love of the game, right?
Go ahead.
Oh man, well, there's so many great things about being an entrepreneur, being a business person, being in sales, whatever it is that you do, and whatever it is that all of the great people here do. But it's about really being passionate about your business, your industry. Yes, you do it to help people, but you would help people some other way if you weren't passionate about what it was that you were doing. So it's about finding love in the each and every day, each and every activity that you do in order to help those people. So, if I didn't enjoy getting on these web panels or networking or being a community leader or organizer or sitting there talking to my clients and walking them through the process of working out their personal finances or ensuring their family or making sure that they could meet their goals and understanding what it was that they were looking for. If that wasn't my thing, right, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, it's more than just people. It's definitely more than money. It's about having that drive and that passion each and every day to be the best you possibly can at what you're doing because you love doing it so much and you love being able to help people in your way.
So it's also about self-esteem as well.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. If you're feeling bad about what you're doing, then you're either going to be miserable and you're going to stop doing it, or you're just going to be somebody that people don't want to work with because when you don't have that passion, when you don't have that enthusiasm, people can read right through you. People think that they keep their emotions in check, but really everybody has a tell in some way or the other when it comes to how they really feel. And just watch for it. And, if you really truly are passionate about what you're doing, then that's going to show too. And that's contagious. The success is contagious. The feeling is contagious. The enthusiasm is contagious. And that's why we're all here doing this, because we feed off of each other's passion and energy. And that's why, I'm so enthusiastic about being here week after week, because this feeds my soul. And then I can go out there and talk to people and really help them because I'm energized.
Right. I mean, because there are people that do make money and they never interact with other people except for who they have to act with. Their day ends at 5 o'clock. They're done. They're out the office door. And they we put in extra because we get something out of it besides, obviously we're getting something besides money.
Sure. I get slapped on the arm occasionally from Heather. It'll be like 9 o'clock and I'm answering emails. What are you doing? It was there. It was there to be done. I got it. The job's not finished. Keep going.
You need to do so you don't get those slaps is stop answering them at 9 and answer them at 3 in the morning.
It will no longer be light, gentle slaps. It will be elbows to the noggin at that point.
Got it. Thank you, Domenic.
You're welcome.
Clint is a pure networker. Really, he does it because it gets him going. So, well, if it's not about the money, what is it about for you, Clint?
Man, it's about just giving back and, changing just one person's life or helping add value to one person's life. Like Jackie was saying earlier, we've been accountability buddies, for the last week or so. And what Domenic just said, I just got finished writing a recommendation on LinkedIn for Domenic, and I said those exact words. I was like, he answers emails, texts, phone calls, all hours. So it's just, about, being able to be there for our partners and give them encouragement and, just, giving back, man, just making sure you spread the positivity.
You said, and I think it's even more than that, I think a lot of people say, I want to impact one person's life. I think networkers, Rockstar Connect attendees, Rockstar Connect hosts, they want to do that on a massive scale.
Yeah.
It's like our drug. It hits that spot in our brain that when we can do something nice for someone and help them accomplish a goal, that is accomplishing one of our goals.
Yeah. And it also allows us to be able to be there to celebrate those wins. And that's not only big for the people that we help and or encourage, but also big for the people that are able to help and give guidance or introduce them to somebody or whatever. I mean, it's not only a win for them, it's a
we
win for
can
us.
strip all the altruism away from it too, and just take it all aside and just say, this is our drug.
Yeah.
This is our addiction, is participating in our community. And thank God we have a beneficial addiction, because there's so many bad ones out there. If you're going to have addiction, helping other people is a great addiction to have.
Absolutely.
Diego Munoz, well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about?
I wish I could add to it. There have been so many great answers. I love Norma's people and purpose is a big reason why I do things. I just think today's show is exactly what it's all about. We're all giving energy and we're getting energy from it. I'm pumped right now. Unfortunately, I have to sign off a little bit early. I've got to go pick up my big Ys from school. And I'm so ready to take them out for ice cream because you all have given me so much purpose to want to make their lives better today. So, I wish I can contribute more to it. The benefactors are going to be my kids and some ice cream without question.
You go to Fresh on Glenwood, the best ice cream parlor in town. Give a shout out to a local business. Thank you, Diego. Adam, our addiction, right?
Simple. It's real simple for me, Stephen. My whole business is dedicated upon the purpose of feeding the children. Okay. I feed the children. I want you guys to understand feed for me stands for food, education, empowerment, and direction. And I don't have a nonprofit because I'm about money and I'm going to use that money to empower the organizations, the nonprofits, and the charities that do these processes to feed the children. There's a piece from every deal that we do that helps to feed the children. And I'll put that in my link below, whether you want to contribute or whether you have a charity or organization that is feeding children, food or otherwise, that we can help distribute money to, distribute funds to, or plug into my connection program, because every once in a while we give away a free card to nonprofit just to help them be able to get their word out a lot better.
Adam, you should connect with my brother on LinkedIn, Jeffrey Elliot. Big interest in hunger, in combating hunger. So same last name as me, Elliot, Jeffrey, and have that conversation with him.
Right on, Stephen. My pleasure.
Thank you. Katia Rav. Shaun, we're gonna come back to Shaun J, and he's gonna perform a little bit of magic for us. But Katia, I always love to when you get to have the last word, because I know you're listening to everything that everyone is saying. Well, if it's not all about the money, what is it about?
Jacqueline said something earlier in there, and I am so sorry if I'm butchering it, or if I'm not saying it exactly the right way, but I think when she was talking about Jalen, she said, it's not about your GPA, it's about your character. And I really love that she said that, because at the end of the day, it's not about the money, it's really about our character. How do people really look at us? What are we contributing to them? And it's really for me, it's going back to the basics, right? We could be so ungrateful and we could be like, all these things are happening to us. And at the end of the day, it's very related to what you talked about last week. Your question last week was, what do we want on our tombstone? And to me, that's really much a continuity. It's, at the end of the day, it's legacy, right? We want people to know then we want to know then we have made a difference. For me, it's, as a business coach, it's in entrepreneur's life. I want them to know then, it's not as complicated as, we make it to be. We can make money, and it can be as easy if you have the right help. So that's kind of that.
It is about legacy. And I think to my own father, and my father, he spent a lot of time with us as kids. He never came home later than 6 o'clock. He did not work on the weekends. There was no such thing as cell phones or emails when he worked. And he said, I don't want to be remembered for how many toys I got you, or the places I sent vacations. I want you to remember me for the time I invested in you. And I think that's very similar to the attendees at Rockstar Connect events, the ones that get it, and to our hosts as well. We're making our investment with people because we want to be remembered for making that investment, for caring. And that's what they're going to remember. You know, people make a lot of money. Some people don't even remember how they made the money. But they certainly remember that you're a good person and that you've lent an ear. You know, I apologize. Jackie, are you still there? Jackie? I didn't give Jackie
I'm
the
still here, Stephen.
I didn't give you the opportunity
Yes.
to answer that question. If it's not about all about the money, what is it about, Jackie?
Well, I can say to you, Stephen, is it me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. It certainly isn't about the money for me because that is, I don't make any money doing what I do. I do what I do solely based on passion and the importance of it. When you've walked in the shoes of the very people that you help, it can't be about the money. It has to be about passion.
Jackie, we're having some technical problems. I'll come back to you.
It has to be about compassion. And, you know, if down the road to still be standing after 5 board, it's been community support. So for me, it is really a big part of it is about the people and the relationships that you build. They will know when you need help. And when you've given them all the best of who you are and you're transparent, the money.
I'm sorry, Jackie. We're just having a bad connection. I'll let you come back to it.
Money part will come. And I still believe that. And definitely passion.
I think we're going to have to mute her because we're just getting a bad connection. If you could just type to her that. Okay, Shaun, I'm going to ask you the question, and then
sure.
If you don't mind, you know, doing a little bit of magic for us.
Sure, happy to add to the discussion.
Well, if it isn't about the money, what is it about for you, Shaun J?
Well, for me, it wasn't the initial motivating factor was not the money. The money just came as a result of my my dedication, I guess. So I believe that personal happiness is a big part of the pie. You know, when people get paid, you can get paid a lot in paper dollars, but you can be very poor in personal happiness. So for me, it was all about personal happiness first. And then when I'm happy, when my soul is happy, then I just the money manifests itself automatically, because if I was doing something where I was not happy, I wouldn't have any motivation to make any money. I wouldn't have any motivation to do really anything else otherwise. So that's how it's always been for me. You know, I was 12 years old when I started, so I'm 29 now, and it's all been about passion. Having a passion for something at a very young age and pursuing it, despite many people telling me that it wasn't the right way to go, and I proved a lot of people wrong, I guess.
And you almost had a career-ending injury that you came back from as well.
Interesting that you brought that up. So, yeah, this was 2013. I had bilateral carpal tunnel syndrome. A lot of people know what that is. A lot of people have it, and it just depends on the severity of it. But for me, it was so bad that I couldn't even tie my shoes. I couldn't button my shirt. It was pretty messed up. And I did consider what am I doing here? What's the purpose of my life? And so it was almost a time where I could do a little soul searching, and I realized that this was just a little blip on the radar of my entire life, and somehow, some way I'm going to get around this. And I did. And I learned a whole heck of a lot in the process. So in a way, now that it's 6-7 years after the fact, I'm glad that it happened, because it made me it helped increase my maturity, and it increased my awareness of having gratitude for the simple things in life.
I mean, what's very interesting about that is because you learn magic initially as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You had this crippling injury with the carpal tunnel syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You had to learn magic all over again as an adult.
Yep. So kind of like riding a bike. It was really strange because things become muscle memory and things get like stored in a certain file cabinet in your brain for a while. And I found that to be true because what happened was, yes, I lost all of my hand-eye coordination because I wasn't using my hands at all. I was just sitting on the couch, didn't know what to do with myself because every time I would touch something, I would feel like this electric shock go up my hand and up my arm. It was just nerve pain. So I had to relearn. The doctor told me to use my hands, but I didn't because it was painful. So I found out why he told me to use my hands, because you lose. It's if you don't use it, you lose it. And your nerve pathways, if you don't use them regularly, your body just doesn't give them any priority. It's just how memory works. If you memorize something, you study something over and over and over again, you can recall it faster because your body's building those new pathways. If you don't study it, it just kind of goes by the wayside. Your body has many other priorities it could be doing. That's why you don't remember the things as much. So I couldn't remember how to even throw a ball, like a tennis ball. I'd practice underhand throwing the ball and I would miss the target every time. I would try to reach for a door and I would smash my thumb. It was really strange. And then I got to shuffling a deck of cards, and that was like, I would just sit there and laugh because, before I could do all this amazing stuff and then I was just reduced to nothing. So now I can shuffle a deck of cards with one hand. So that was a goal of mine, just like a comeback thing. So yeah.
Now that you can do amazing things again, what amazing things do you have to show us today?
Great lead-in, Stephen David Elliott. I like how smooth you are with those intros there. That's great. So the last time say what?
It's my magic skill.
Your magical skill, the gift of gab. So this last time that I was on, you mentioned the skills that I use with 3D printing and design. I actually brought something today that I've been wearing around my neck, and you're probably wondering what that is. And this is something that I made. Now, ever since March, I have been thinking about time and the importance of it, and being grateful for the time that we have. And like many of you, when this whole thing started, I was just doing a bunch of cleaning and, just trying to find ways to pass the time. But now I don't take time for granted anymore. I really respect time. So this around my neck is actually something that reminds me of a very important person in my life. And that person is my mom. And this is actually like a camera lens, you see? It's like a photo. And that's me and my mom right there. My mom was a photographer, actually. And she was my original inspiration for following my passion. She was a photographer, and she lived in New York City for many years. And, just makes me think, what are we doing with our time? So I developed a little piece around this, and I have the chain that I want you to see here. So, you'll see that? Mm-hmm. How about we go, this is something modern. Now we're going to go, just take a step back so we can see this. I'm going to go back in time, back to the moment, back in the past, when things were simple. See, hour to hour, minute to minute, second to second, we take for granted often. See, a lot of times we think that we are in control of time, but it's actually time that's in control of us. Watch. So the big question here is, what are you doing with your time? Is it just spending hours and hours on Netflix? Or are we spending that time with the people that we truly love? I'm going to come back here so you can see this. Maybe it's meditation. Spend your time wisely, because I will definitely be doing just that. Now watch. All right. And that brings everything full circle with a unique tribute to my mom, the OG, the original inspiration. And I'm Shaun J, and that's a piece that I created.
And I know your mom is a tremendous fan of yours and a supporter, and
give her a lot of credit
for many years.
Oh, yeah.
So wonderful that you're recognizing her here. If anyone would like to get in touch with Shaun J, either for magic, so he can brighten up one of your events, whether that be virtual or physical, he's going to drop his information here in the chat. He is also going to be with us on the 27th at the 3 Martini Lunch Live. If you don't know what the 3 Martini Lunch Live is, it's a great event. Jackie's actually one of our sponsors of the event. I see some people here that have already RSVP'd. They're coming. Clint's coming, and Domenic, for example, I know he's coming to the event. It's going to be at Sullivan's on the 27th between 11:30 and 1:30. You can buy your tickets on the Rockstar Connect page on the website, and we hope to see you there. Thank you all for coming here today. I hope to bring you successes next week from all of our panelists. I'm very grateful to all of you. I came in sort of a pissy mood at the beginning of the call today, and now I'm definitely invigorated. And I'm also thinking about ice cream too. You know, ice cream is now on my mind, and ice cream cures all wounds. So everyone, we'll see you next week on Tuesday, same time, same place, 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. Eastern time. If everyone can put up their hand and wave goodbye, thank you all for coming. See you next week. And congratulations again, Jalen.
Thank you.
Bye.